I highly recommend for you guys to listen to several people. You go to Mando, he told me who to listen to. And I do it, and so much of that stuff, it stays. You continue listening to it, and then you pick up things. Affirmations in the morning, if you don't feel like it, they're very important. You know, I can do this. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose you have to, many times, talk yourself into what? Because it's not that it's a happy thing every day, you know? And real estate right now is challenging, but it doesn't mean that we cannot do it and that they could make money on it. We have Amado thinking of so many other ways. You know, this he needs to speak about this, and I know he is going to because we talked about it. Linwood coming up.
Yeah.
You guys, the density of that area is amazing. This is an opportunity that our broker is giving us to do and work it, and he needs to talk about this. But anyway, that's my answer.
Thank you. Don't go. I give her a big round of applause. You know, one of the lines that I love about Adriana is, you know, she says, if I can't do what I'm supposed to do in 6 days, one more day is not going to help me. I think that when you talk with certainty, again, everything has to do with preparation. Now, getting to Linwood, there's a lot of agents that want to go to that event, and they're talking to Mr. Fuentes, New American Funding, but he says, well, you know, when I wasn't doing stuff, the only person that's always been there is Amado. All of a sudden, I'm starting to do these things, and now you guys are my friends. So he asked, you know, what my thoughts were, and my thoughts are very simple. We get the table, we get to pick the people. Other agents can come, but the people sitting at the table is, well, obviously New American Funding, and then Excellence Empire. We want to continue to have that prospect mechanism so that we can have that good outcome. Now, one of the beauties about, you know, having Barbara within our midst is the fact that she's an organizer. And I'm a visionary, I see things, okay? But I need someone, you know, to help me document things, to help me guide people, and to help each one of you. I have an issue with this as a person. To me, I don't care how. How means nothing to me, okay? As long as things get done, I'm okay with it, but that's me. That's not you, and that's not the majority of the people. But one of the things that, Alex is here, okay? There's three things, is what, how, and as you talk to your clients, this is very, very important. You ask them, what do they do, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? You know, and how do you do it? But the next thing, this is what really determines and drives all of us, each one of us here. And if you can determine here why the buyer, what is their why, a seller, what is their why, if you can determine what is my why, then all of a sudden you will have more clarity to do bigger, better, be more efficient, be happier with yourself, with, you know, those people that you're around. So I am going to ask, I'm going to pick on Mr. Moreno. Mr. Moreno.
Yes, sir.
Coming up here so we can see you in the camera. Let's give Adriana a big round of applause. I have a question for you. You talked about why. Rafa did a great job. Adriana did a phenomenal job on the how. What's your why? What makes you tick? What makes Mr. Moreno get up in the morning and want to kick butt, inflict pain, and break bones? What is it? Talk to us.
What is it? Well, actually,
what is your why?
It's actually the trust that I build with clients gives me the why. Because when we're out there, we want to build that trust. We want to build a good reputation, and it gives everybody a reason to want to work with us. So that's one of the whys for me. I do it because we work for a very strong company. Rafael actually hit something off. Doing a fully underwritten file. When Adriana goes out there and makes an offer, she wants to make an offer with a fully underwritten file instead of just a pre-approval. Pre-approval, you're going to have to jump through the hoops. A fully approval means that you're going to make an offer with a fully underwritten approval certificate, which is going to make it stronger. And when we do stuff like that, it makes our job a lot easier. So that's my why right there. I can get up knowing that we are strong at what we do, and the outcome is going to be good results. So everybody wants to fund that file in 8 to 10 days. Well, with those type of processes, that's what's going to happen. So that's my wire model.
Let's give him a big round of applause. Who's that? Come on now. This is our title rep. Okay.
Hey, I have
He's
something
grown.
to say here.
And that's one Murataya there. Tell us, what's your why? Talk to us.
My why is first off, I'm 24 years old, but I have 2 kids, so they're my biggest
He's a
why.
top producer. He's a top producer.
But if you guys have any title needs, I'm affiliate to you guys. Me, my team, obviously you guys know my father. We're a big partner in you guys, so if you guys need anything, please reach out to us. All right?
Thank you. Okay, let me tell you my why. Okay. My why is I want to continue traveling the world. I want to continue writing books. I have a book on the shelves that is right there. It's already in my mind. It started on paper, but I have to do it. The other thing is that is very important to me is to have a legacy to where, one day, 100 years from now, okay, when people mention my name, Amado, it means something. It means that somehow I touched their lives, somehow I inspired them, and I looked at them and said, yes, you can do it. I remember my oldest son having a tri-wheel, one of those tri-wheelers, like now they have them, 4 wheels, but at one time those motorcycles. And I remember, my whole family was over, and I wanted to show off that my son can ride a 3-wheeler good. Well, it had just rained, and he went on a jump, and he lost it. Well, I mean, it's about 11 years old, and he's all full of mud. The thing is all full of mud, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope he doesn't get, he's not hurt. So I go there, and he's looking at me, and I said, are you okay? And he says, I'm okay, Dad. I said, okay, I want you to go back, get on back of the, the 3-wheeler, and I want you, when you hit the, when you hit the slope, I want you to give it a lot more gas and go faster. Well, and I looked at him, and I said, Robert, you can do it. And he did it. And while he was doing it, I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I'll be guilty the rest of my life. I'll need therapy and on and on and on. Well, he did it. Later on, 20 years forward, he said, Dad, that was a defining moment for me because you empowered me to a whole different level when you looked at me with such conviction. And me, I want to do the same thing. If you guys had the vision and had the discipline to get your real estate license, it's just the little successes right around the corner, and the other thing that I am going to do and I'm working on now, you could say you're wishful thinking, maybe it's just stomach indigestion, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But one of the things that I am going to build is we're going to reach 300 agents, okay? Yeah. And we're going to do it. And everyone teaches and tells you, be competitive, be competitive. As I was reading, the Old Testament, when the Creator created all creation, he looked at a pretty lady and a very good-looking young man, and he said, go and multiply. But then he said something that resonates with my thinking. He said, go and dominate. So each one of you, we're not designed to compete, to be competitive. When the late Kobe Bryant would step in the court, was he competitive? He was not competitive. I'm here to correct you. He was dominant. Okay. When you step into your realm, are you competitive? If you're competitive, you're just average. Okay. But you gotta be dominant. So anyways, without any further ado, I want to invite someone that I highly respect, someone that is going to be sharing with us. We're going to be participating a lot more. In business, it's not just making a sale, okay? What I want to do is, I don't want you to just be a realtor. I don't want you to just be a lender. That's not what I do, okay? That's not what I want to do. I want you to be a complete business person where you're treating your career as a business professional, and when you walk somewhere, people will have that level of respect that you deserve and you have earned. Anyways, without any further ado, I'd like to ask my very good friend and partner, Mr. Alexander Kim, to come on out. Let's do it. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
You got it.
All right, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
The 13th.
So
Oh, that's
today,
right, Lucky Friday.
that's
It's
right,
Lucky
it's a special
Friday.
Friday. It's a very special Friday. So thank you all for having us here. I actually want to thank the American Dream team for those of you that made it out here for today. Appreciate you guys being here. Also, thank you, Mr. Amado, for allowing us to introduce ourselves today. So today is a very special Friday for us. Not only is it Friday the 13th, but this is the beginning of a new plan that we've been working on for the past 3 years. And I am so honored and so thankful to be able to launch this plan with Excellence Real Estate Empire, right? So this with Mr. Amado, right? So very thankful for that. And I actually printed these flyers that I was going to hand out and kind of go over, but can I use this as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I'm
got
going
the
to try
markers.
to improvise here, okay? So today, we're going to introduce what is the American Dream Team and where's our dream plan. Okay, but first, let me start here. Let's start with the goal. Okay, the goal. Help. My handwriting is not that good, okay? So you gotta bear with me here.
But he's good with money, okay?
I'm good with numbers, but
Yeah,
not
numbers,
letters.
that's it.
Yeah, there you go. Achieve the American Dream. AD is American Dream. Help, and here's a blank, right? So on the flyers I was going to hand out, you're going to write in how many people you're going to help achieve the American Dream. So before we answer that, I want us to journey together what this plan and what this vision looks like. Okay.
Alex, you want to text it to me and I'll print it?
Oh yeah,
Just text it
it's
to me and
actually
I'll
in your
print it.
email.
Oh, you sent it?
Yeah, it's in your email. If you
Okay.
can print it, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So, back in May 31st of 2020, during the onset of the pandemic, a group of my guys at Home First Mortgage Bankers, that's our mortgage lender. Okay, I'm actually the CEO of Home First Mortgage Bankers, and most of our American Dream Team members are part of our company. We started a daily training call. We had a vision back then. Our vision was to see people believe again in the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if you know the original version of that pursuit of happiness, it was pursuit of real estate. Okay, so when I think of the American dream, there's two things that come to mind. Okay, first, I'm going to continue using this board. I think all of us can guess this one. What's one of the main things that people think of when we think of the American dream? What kind of ownership? Home ownership, yes, absolutely. So, home ownership. What's the second one? What makes America so great that we can not only have home ownership, but what is the second one? I think a lot of people forget to kind of realize, but the second one, and it impacts all of you here today. You are all part of it. It's small business ownership. Small business, exactly. Business, small business ownership. Okay, so those are the two things that I advocate for. Okay, now being a small business owner myself, just a little story about how we got into, how we started Home First Mortgage Bankers. So back in 2014, April of 2014, Raj was with me at that time. We decided the company that we were with, well, actually, I transitioned from a salary job to a branch to become my own business again. So during that transition, I literally started right before that, because you know how it is in a salary job, especially I was helping a family member kind of start their mortgage company. And the salary, you don't get to really save much. You're kind of living paycheck to paycheck. I was on like $3,000 a month salary, right, at that time. So to go from that to a business, I mean, you need money to start a business. At least that's what a lot of people think, right? So the only way I was going to come up with money was to sell a deal. I wasn't a real estate agent at that time, but I had to go find a loan, and I happened to find a listing at the same time. It was the same transaction. It was a veteran guy, and I had made $20,000 on that combo, real estate and mortgage, and I was able to use that to start my branch. That was April of 2014. Now, when I started that company, the main thing that I was going to invest in was my human resources. So in business, there's three things that you need to be successful: human resources, capital, and technology. Right? So I went all in on the human resources, went in on the underwriter, because without the operations, without the underwriter, you really can't do anything as a lender, right? The underwriter is the one that's going to allow you to fund loans. That's the way I looked at it from my previous company, okay? So as soon as we had the underwriter, I was actually able to close loans. I couldn't close loans before having my own underwriter, because it was like pulling teeth trying to close a loan. You have to buy coffee for this person and go buy a gift for this processor, and be like, happy Friday. You have to like just kind of kiss butt, right? So that was the business. It's not that I don't like doing that. I just didn't want to have to do that just to get a loan closed. So that's why I invested that money into hiring an underwriter. As soon as I was able to hire an underwriter and start closing deals, then I actually made some income, but I kept myself at a very strict, for 3 years prior to that, I was very strict with my overhead, right? So I was able to survive off of $3,000 a month. I was going to stick to that, even though I was making more money. Because in my mind, my vision was already, I needed to be at $10 million a month. I'm not going to do anything until I get to $10 million a month. I'm not going to go off course until I get to $10 million a month. That's 40 transactions per month. So no matter what happens, I'm going to stick to the plan. $3,000 for myself, which I've proven to myself that I could survive for 3 years. So it doesn't matter if I'm making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. To me, I'm only making $3,000 a month until I'm closing 40 transactions a month. That was my goal. That was my goal. I wasn't going to quit until I actually achieved my goal, right? So, April, May, started closing 3 loans, 4 loans. Now I have all this money. So what do? Well, I can't pay myself. That was the rule I gave myself. What am I going to do? I'm going to reinvest it into more human resources. That's when I started hiring more processors, then a doctorer, then a funder, right? So we're going month after month after month. Within 6 months, I went from 0 loans to 40 loans a month, 35 to 40 loans a month, 10 million a month. Okay. By March of 2015, we hired a doctor and a funder who was from a previous company. She had the experience of closing 2,000 loans a month. Her name is Han. She's our chief risk officer in our company today. Okay, now, why is that important? Because once we did that, we outgrew my current company, and that's when we decided, you know what, we're going to start our own mortgage company, because no one can really handle our level of service and our capacity. So that's when we decided, okay, you know what, let's start a new company. Now, mind you, I had no idea what it would take to start a company. I just read some things online and talked to some consultants, and I went in with the bare minimum. You need at least $3 to $5 million to operate a mortgage bank successfully, right? So I went in, and I mean, by that time, I'm only 6-7 months in, I had about 250,000 saved up at that point. So I put that in. Where am I going to get the other 750? Creative financing. I created assets and notes, put arrangements together, and I was able to get HUD approved for without $1 million cash, but with assets, right? Through partnerships and leverage, right? So it was possible. Now, it wasn't the smartest thing to do. I should have waited a little bit, so I had some more capitals, so I had some more runway for myself. But it was a struggle, right? So 2017, in January of 2017, we got our HUD approval within 6 months. Unheard of. Most companies take at least 1.5 to 2 years to get their HUD licensing approved, okay? We got it in 6 months. Why? Because I have a goal. I can't touch the money until I'm at $3,000 a month for myself until I hit this goal. But meanwhile, I have $100,000 a month, $150,000 a month coming through my bank account, right? And it's cash flowing. So the business is there. So I have that vision coming to life every month, right? And that was my motivation. I'm not touching it, right? So then, January 17, 2017, January 17, 2017, we got our HUD approval. I transitioned over from my franchise company, the other company that I was at. I transitioned over, and that's where I made some mistakes, ego, this and that. I thought when I was transitioning over, it was going to be a smooth transition, but it doesn't always work like that, right? So didn't have a clean exit, and that it threw me off course big time, right? Man, I was like so close to finally touching some of that money, right? So 2017, that whole year I had to start over. I lost my the way to stay in compliance and to stay fair with my previous owner. I couldn't take any of my salespeople with me, right? So I had to start completely from scratch. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because in 2017, if you remember, no one did social media. No one really was doing Facebook. If you go back to January, no one was doing Facebook. Well, I had nothing left. I have no money left. I have like nothing, right? So I had to come up with the marketing plan. And it just happened to be, social media. So we became the first social media direct lender. And still today, I'm the only social media direct lender in the industry. Not by choice, but by I had to stick to the plan. So 2017, what do I mean by that? I became the only social media direct lender where, as a company, I have the entire operations to handle over 200 loans a month. But here I am by myself, my single LO, with no loan officers in January and February. I have to start from scratch. And little did I know that when you're a brand new direct lender, when you're that small, you don't actually get like all these perks. There's all these levels that you have to climb. Right? So I didn't realize when I had left the previous company, they were already at a certain level. And it took time to get to that level. So we had to struggle through that all of 2017. Then by 2018, I pretty much was rock bottom. It took a year of just figuring out not much. Social media took a long time to really get going. And then by 2018 is when I pretty much had to give up. Around October, November, and then December, something happened where I gave up, and Mr. Amado and I, the reason why I cherish our relationship, and I know that this time, when I commit to this project together with him, it's God's work. Yeah. It's God's will, right? Yeah. Because the way I thought I wanted to do it by the end of 2018, money was still like the biggest motivator for me, and it wasn't in the right order. And something happened to me. I had this experience, and I let go of that. And I just wanted to serve. I put service kind of in my heart for the first time, a little bit before money. Still struggle with that, but I was able to do that. And when I did that, something happened. Everything changed. The way I was talking to people, the way I was approaching people, the way my investors now, today, that after one conversation, it was a very different conversation. I had 4 investors that I was trying to raise money from. 3 of them, it was before this experience, they all said no. The 4th one, it was completely different. He said, here Alex, here's $1 million. I want to invest in your company, right? So that's kind of the start of this new experience where I put service in my heart for the first time. That was December of 2018. 2019, this is when everything started working out, and by 2020 February, I was back in the green. And March would have been the first month that I would have touched that money again, right? But if you remember what happened in March of 2020, oh my goodness, like the timing of it. Our market industry crashed. I had set everything up perfectly. It was the most strongest foundation of a company. I was so proud. My team they worked so hard, endlessly, right? Sweat, blood, and tears, literally. And we were about to, well, they were good, but I was about to actually enjoy the fruits of my labor finally. And then the pandemic happened, and then the market crashed, and then it's like, whoa. So then a lot of things happened after that, actually in our favor, right? But right before things turned around to the positive, there's something that I had envisioned. March through April of 2020, I had kind of seen the future. Now, when you hear about prophecy, right? You hear about, oh, how do prophets prophesize, right? It's not that they see the future necessarily. It's those prophets are able to see the present so well. When you can see reality in today and you can see the present, then the future and the past are all in one. I saw something that year, that month. I saw myself, and I saw how I was still holding on to myself. And when the market crashed, the secondary market crashed for 2 weeks, I thought the most stable company that was possibly made by me at the time, right? How could it have been shaken? And I saw so many weaknesses in myself through this company that I had made. So May 31st of 2020, that's when we started the American Dream Team. I had gone back to my roots, and I wanted to start with putting the right vision in place, putting our country actually in my heart, back in my heart. I'm a veteran. I got my training at the United States Coast Guard Academy from 2000 to 2002. It was the number one leadership training program in the world, right? With West Point Naval Academy and Air Force Academy. So I wanted to go back to that because I hadn't completed that, and I was going to put myself through that. And I invited 4 other brothers, 1, and then 2 more, 2, 3, 4, and we started inviting more and more brothers to this mission, to this training mission, right? And that's why when he was asking, what's your why? That's my why. Because I've been healed, and I know that without healing, we really can't do anything if we don't take care of ourselves. And we don't have that mission in our heart every single day, and we have that love for others and love for country and love for what we do every single day. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. But I'll tell you this, today I'm going to share with you a dream plan, an American dream plan. Because the good news is there's a lot of problems in this country right now, in this world. But the bigger the problem, the greater the problem. Think about every story, every movie out there. What movies are you really excited to go see, right? Or do you talk about that was a great movie? It's the movie where the good guy almost didn't make it because the challenge, because the villain or the problem was so great. And right now we have some of the greatest problems to solve. And I'm calling all of our communities to join forces with Mr. Amado and myself, right? The American Dream Team Real Estate Empire. and some other partners to really take our country back, right? Take our country back through home ownership and through small business ownership. So here's the plan, very simple. If you guys are looking at the, can I get a copy of that? Yes. Oops. Okay, so what is the American dream? We already went through that. Home ownership, small business ownership. What is the solution? Okay, the number one biggest problem right now that we're facing begins with the letter I. Anyone? Inflation, absolutely. So we need to learn what inflation is. Okay, now I'll give you the 30-second version of it, but we have hours and hours of classes available to really understand inflation. So not only do you understand it, but when you're talking to consumers and to future home buyers, they understand that they need to buy a home now while they can. That if they can finance a home, like you can actually have someone give you the money, a bank can give you the money where you can not come out of pocket, and you can actually use your credit to borrow money to own something that's real. Because inflation, okay, it's the increase of money supply. The more the money supply increases, every time that happens, your dollar loses value, right? And the rate at which, if I showed you some of these charts, the rate at which that we're increasing the money supply, that numbers don't lie. Right now, the way we're being retrained to learn inflation is what you call CPI. CPI is very manipulative. CPI only has to do with cost and the rate at which inflation is happening. So just a little bit of insight. If inflation was last year going up at a 6%, 7% rate, okay, so all these food prices went up, then we hear, oh, CPI is coming down. A lot of people think that inflation is coming down. That's not what it means. Food prices are never going to come back down. Rent prices are never going to come back down. None of these prices are ever coming back down. What's going to happen? Then why are they saying inflation, CPI is coming down? The rate at which it's inflating is slowing down. Right? There's a very big difference there. Second biggest problem. What is downstream from inflation? H, 2 words, affordable housing. Okay, now California, it has 50% of the homelessness population in the country. 50%. Why is that? People say, oh, it's because of drugs. Oh, it's because of the sanctuary cities. Oh, it's because of crime. Those exist in other states, but why does California have 50% of the homelessness? It's because of affordable housing, which is the result of inflation. So affordable housing needs to be solved, and that's where we can actually put our focus in. So inflation and affordable housing. And then problem number 3, this is kind of my own perspective here. People don't know how to work as a team because, like Mr. Amado said, everyone's being taught to be competitive against each other. We're not fighting against each other. We're supposed to work together and be united. We're the United States of America, right? So if we can get past the competition and dominate as a nation, as a community, right? That's a solution. So those 3 things we're going to need to solve. If we focus our energy and our efforts in solving those 3 things, there's no way, right? There's no way from my experience that we don't continue advancing forward. And if we're solving problems, right, we get paid for it. We get compensated for it in many different ways, not just money, right? Honor, power, money, wealth, right? In all different aspects of our life. And truly, at the end of the day, our own happiness, right? All right, now, when it comes to home ownership, so that was for the business mindset, the small business ownership. When it comes to the home ownership on the right, you see how it says how many? Well, owner occupied, at least 1. Get in now, right? So with our training and with the storyline that we're going to be putting out there, why do you need to get in now, right? Now, there's one thing usually holding, or there's 2 things really holding people back, right? Raj, what's one of the main first things that hold people back? Credit. Okay? Now, Raj, I'm telling you right now, he is the credit, I'm going to call him the credit genie, credit master, whatever you want to call him. Right? I'm confident, and this is because Raj and I put this program together back in 2013. He stuck with it. I had to build home first and do all this. So he stuck with it. He stuck with helping clients out, and he's evolved with it. Putting credit or helping people get their credit, their FICOs to where they need to be. The first tier is like 600, 620, then 640, 660, then 680. But keep going to 740 plus, and then with me, go all the way to 800 plus. By the time you get to me, I'll take you to 800. Raj will get you to that 640 to 680 so you can get to me. Get to me, and you're at 800. And not only are you 800, here's the second part. All right, we'll go to the second part a little bit later. So, owner-occupied. You need at least one owner-occupied. And the key is try to come in with as minimum money possible, right? Don't worry about paying it off right now, because of that, you're trying to plan off, I don't know if I just get in, right? We're going to teach everyone to just get in right now, okay? Then, how many non-owner occupieds? Do you know how many mortgages you can have under your name with Fannie or Freddie? 10. So you should have at least 9 non-owner occupieds. Okay, now, you need 20% down for that. So, we have products where right now the private money's coming back, where it's the equivalence of like the ninja loans back in the day, the 2008 days. It's the equivalent. It's pretty phenomenal. But I do have an investor right now with 20% down. They're not looking for much, right? So I'm confident that I can get you into a home, right? Mr. Amado knows, Adriana knows. I can get you into a home if you have 20% down, okay? Don't worry about anything else. Like, what about income? What about 2 years job? 20% down is all they care about. So just reach out to these guys, right? When you have 20% down, okay? So you should have at least 9 of those. And then after that, you should still be investing with cash, okay? Now, cash doesn't necessarily mean cash out of pocket, but cash into what's called a real estate investment trust, right? A REIT. And that's what Mr. Amado's background and experience is going to really help us with, okay? All right, sorry, I'm ripping this up, sorry. All right, so who is the American Dream Team? Okay, I'm going to give you an example on the next page of who the American Dream Team is. We want to help every single consumer, everyone, every American. Right, you got to have a social, okay? But if you have a social security card and you have the right to vote, that means you're 18 and you have a social security card, then you should learn how to be 3 things: a lender, a real estate agent, or a real estate professional, and a builder. I'm not saying everyone needs to go sell real estate, but you should know these things, right? Know how to lend money, acquire money from the banking system, know how to access capital, right? Without using your cash, with your credit. Know how to find a good location. Real estate's all about location. Find a good location. And then, how are we going to help solve that main problem of inflation and really affordable housing? We have to build living space. We have to build ADUs or create more real estate, create more space, square footage. This is how. This is the American Dream Team. When you have these 3 in a team, like I am with Mr. Amado and myself and Javier, right? We are creating this triangle formation, right? So that everyone can learn these 3 things. And we have it all right here under one roof. Next. So, what is the American Dream Plan? Okay, very simple. 5 steps, I've broken it down. There's a lot more in between steps. There's actually 21, but I'm going to just share 5. The main 5. Number 1, FICO. Go see Raj if you don't have a 740 or 680. Go see Raj and figure out, learn from him on these classes and the way we're teaching you how to get there within 21 days, maybe if we're not able to do it on the first shot, within 90 days. There's like 3 different ways to get there within about 90 days. Step 2, okay, small business ownership. Start a new corporation. I'm going to teach you how to start a new corporation so that corporation can actually turn into capital for you, investment capital, as long as you're going to use it for real estate development or real estate investments. Okay. Number 3, through that corporation, we teach everyone how to get to the finish line is going to be, for now, per corporation, $500,000. Okay, $500,000. It'll take 2 years, and then it'll take another 3 years, 5 years to have that access to the line without a personal guarantor. The first 2 years, the first 5 years will require a personal guarantor, but we have a structure where you have full control and ownership of the corporation. So you're the owner, and then I'll be your underwriter, right? So you know how to manage that money. Okay, so that's the partnership. Number 4, what do you do with that money? We're investing in real estate, whether it be hard money loans at 60%, maybe 65% LTV. These are deals that we go in and out. So one thing that I learned through my lending platform is it's all about cash flow. The way you create credit lines is you got to have cash flow. Don't worry about profit in the beginning, because if you can make $1 and you can figure out how to make $1 without using any money, using your credit and using your corporation, if you can figure out how to make $1 or 1%, then you can figure out how to make $1 or 1% and multiply that, right? That multiplying is the easy part when you have a team. Okay. But you got to figure out how you're going to make that $1. So the way we figure out how to make that $1, we'll teach you that, right? It's usually through hard money loans, short term, 3 weeks. How is it 3 weeks? Just like I do funding on loans for 3 weeks, actually 2 weeks. But we fund the loan, we take the loan, and then we sell it, right? So we're funding it, and then we're selling it, so someone else is taking the interest, but we just fund it and get it paid off, so we are rotating that money. It's cash flow, okay? And then ground up construction. I mean, that's where you need to be right now. I think Mr. Amado would agree with me on this one. The margins to be super, super safe, you want to be in ground up construction. Okay. There are still deals to be made in fix and flips and all that, but ADUs as well, but ground up construction. You can't go wrong there right now. Okay. I'm seeing margins that you can't come close to in fix and flips. Number 5. You see these guys here? These guys are going to help us share our story. So what I found in the last 60 to 90 days as we're finalizing this plan that we've been working on for the last 3 years, if I'm doing this plan myself, right? Rafael is doing it. He just started. He's with the American Dream Team. Raj is already 2 months in. He's going to start next. When we do it, when we're the ones doing it, it's very easy to share the story. We don't have to come up with twist our brain to come up with some pitch. It's, hey, this is what I'm doing. And it's tied to real estate. So then people want to follow and people want to see what you're doing. So all you have to do in step 5 is share that story. Okay? With that plan in mind, we're going to have all these opportunities to do podcasts, to do videos, to do a storyline-based social media plan, marketing plan. Okay, so a story-based, not a commercial-based, a story-based. So the difference is like the NBA finals versus the Nike commercial. We don't need to teach you how to do the shoe commercial, but we want to play out the NBA finals, that movie, that story, this American Dream plan story together, right? That's the plan. That's the plan. So, one thing I did skip earlier, I do want to bring this in. So, earlier when we were talking about the 20% down, we have the 20% down product, and also we have products right now with the 700 credit score for business owners that have been in business for 2 years. We can get them access to $150,000 in 2 weeks, and then another $150,000 90 days after that. So $300,000 is the max per year for a business owner with the 700 credit score. So Danny, he's part of our SBA Bolt program. He'll be the one training on that. But let me explain why we're targeting. Why right now we're targeting small businesses and small business owners, because they need money, right? And there's a lot of them that couldn't buy homes because the products weren't available. Now they're available. They just became available in the last 60 to 120 days. So just imagine if someone doesn't want to use their 20% that they have to buy a home, well, these programs can get you that 20%. So that's what we want to teach you. We want to teach you how do you leverage your credit in your business to get the money that is required to get the loan to buy the home. Because when we look at it from that perspective, we're providing a solution for everyone to buy a home. And a business owner right now, they have the cash flow. It makes a lot of sense for them to buy a home right now. It makes a lot of sense. Or they might just need the money. Okay, how do I join the American Dream Team? You see it at the end there. We will invite you to our first Zoom call to go over all the qualifications, what the plan's going to be. It's a 21-week plan. Correction, it's a 21-day plan, but it's 21 months long to get to that $500,000. Okay, so hopefully we'll see you all on November 6th. Thank you for your time.
Remember what I said at the beginning? When you have a vision, the divine has already made arrangements for you to make things happen. In the divine, subtraction and division, that comes from the adversary, okay? Those of you that are spiritual. But addition and multiplication, that comes from above. What we want to share with you is everybody wants to participate in the minus and the divisions. We're not here to do that. We want to contribute, but we want to challenge each one of you to make that commitment. One of the things that Alex said, and I want to repeat it, and Gary Vee said it, he said, without sacrifice, there's no redemption. In today's society, people don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to work the long hours. They don't want to make the long phone calls. I come in, this young man right here to my lab, he's on the phone, and he is someone that follows the divine, but you gotta remember, faith without works is what?
Dead.
Is dead. So, a lot of times, I believe. Well, I believe too, but you gotta put some effort into it, I can tell, Adriana, I love you, and then leave. Well, no, if I say I love you, I better take it to Mario's or Vigilucci's or to back it up, And I'm challenging each one of you here under my voice. With Alex, we're going to build this thing. And at the end of the day, remember this too. It's not about you, okay? Zig Ziglar said, if you can help enough people get what they want, he said it. He said, you can have anything you want. I have a lot of wants, okay? And you have a lot of wants. But until you step into that step of faith where, you see that person that you saw, and Alex mentioned it, there's going to be adversaries. We just, he was talking about different things. We just finished watching the series of Beckham, one of the greatest soccer players ever, okay? But at one time, the whole country hated him, okay? For something, if somebody comes and hits you, do you just turn the other cheek? You guys don't tell me, yeah, because that's the spiritual. No, I know you guys. You guys will hit back. He did that, and because of that, he was red tagged and he was disqualified. Some of us have been disqualified. We have gotten red cards. It's not the end of the game. Failure is not the end. And I just want to challenge each one of you to step up to the plate. Before I finish, I'd like to ask Barbara to say a few words. Barbara, what are some of the things that you're doing as a company? You're the corporate administrator. The floor is yours. Talk to us.
Thank you, Amado. So we learned a lot today about joining a team and developing that, and thank you. You opened my eyes too to some things, so I appreciate that. I'm here for the agents to help build their internal business.
I have a question for you. Okay. You've been in the business for 20 plus years. I won't mention the company that you were with. I would not mention Remax that you was with the past. Okay, I got to keep that private. But what is the difference that you see between and the other way, I mean, the other thing is you're very engaged. You're the vice president of the Women's Council. We serve on the board. You're a director. I've been a director. So you see things from a completely different perception that a lot of the people don't see it. What is that you see about our organization, and why are you so enthused? Can you share that with us?
I just see something big, something bigger than myself. I have a servant heart. I volunteer more than I actually am out there making money. But I am learning that servant heart, my friends, family, everyone are like, you give your time away too much. You need to be out there making money. But that servant heart is what led me here, because now I'm here and I can help more people, which is what I love to do. And the vision that your company has,
Well, our company, you're part of it.
we are aligned in so many ways, and I just think that, I just felt like this was the perfect move for me. And you keep saying it was God inspired, but I'm sorry, that was my fault, because I was praying about this to happen. So God just reached out to you because He was answering my prayers.
Let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you, Barbara. Last week I said something is by Dr. Robert Schuller. He says, if it's not now, when? If it's going to be, it's up to me. If I can't see it, I cannot achieve it. And I challenge each one of you, that vision that you have, don't be afraid to live it. Anyway, Adanita, would you like to come up here and say a few words? Yeah.
Okay. We're live. Wow, thank you everyone that is here for coming here and listening. Thank you, Alex. I love the partnership. I love your vision.
Yeah.
Your vision is big.
Very clear.
It's big. And so we need to focus. Thank you for bringing talent here to instruct us and give us direction. And I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Thank you.
We also have a new agent. She came and I just explained to her what she was doing and what we were doing, and she signed. Martha, welcome.
Martha!
Thank you. You want to say a few words? Come on, Martha. Anytime that I'm around, be ready to speak.
Yeah, right. I noticed that. Spanish for me, para todos los que estamos aquí.
Dios
que hablamos
habla español.
Ya, pues yo estoy muy contenta de ver, no me esperaba el meeting de hoy, y so powerful and very, I love your dream, your vision. I think it's like that we have to keep that in our hearts as agents, because that's, well, for me it's my mission. And I have Monica with me today. They introduced me to this business, to the real estate. And God sent me back to Him. So He's here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alex, would you like to say something in closing?
Yeah, so thank you for that. Right here, this blank number, I also want to commit together to the 300, right? Now, Rocky, where are you at? Come here.
Rocky!
Come on, Rocky.
Just like my previous story, right? On this 300, until we achieve this 300, Rocky, I'm going to give something up, okay? What should Daddy give up at home? What should Daddy give up at home? Something that I shouldn't be doing. Anything? Right now, my biggest struggle that I'm dealing with is sweets. It's a real struggle. So until this, I'm gonna look forward to that day we hit this, and I'm gonna have a nice chocolate bar with you all, because I'm gonna give that up, and I'm gonna keep that in my mind, right? That's gonna be my commitment to making sure that until that day comes, right, we're gonna stick to it. We're gonna stick to the plan, and we're gonna stay on the vision, stay on course, and we're gonna do this together. So afterwards, we have our creative director here with us. By the way, John, I know we have multiple media people here, but John, he's from his previous country, he was actually a small movie director. So he's got the entire script. He understands what our plan is, and he's going to be a very, very big, powerful help for the scripting part of our storyline. So if you guys can stick around afterwards, we're going to go ahead and take some shots and put together our first promotion video for this plan. So thank you, Mr. Amado.
Thank you. Carlos, tell us something about the divine. Carlos is, well, he's still a pastor. You know, when you have when you're called to serve, that doesn't go away. It's not like you're a pastor today. I mean, say a few words, please.
God bless. Thank you, Mr. Amado. What a great opportunity. Well, there's a lot of things we can say about the Heavenly Father or God. Somebody call him the divine, the all-powerful. I call him my father because I have a relationship with him every morning, every day. So the good thing that we have, the asset that we have is the power that flows through his spirit and his love. And everything is done by love. I was very touched by the speaker today because until he find out, you know, that whatever you do, and not just for the money side, but for the love. And that's what really admiring him today. And this is what we're supposed to do. We like money. We like, yeah, I like money too. You know, everybody likes money. Everything, we need money. But if we put God first in the morning and the night and every day, and I assure you that God is gonna provide the how. You got the why, but the how He's gonna provide. So that's what we gotta do.
Don't worry about it.
Open the hearts. Thank you.
Let's give him a big round of applause. You know, we are told, he that wants to be the greatest among you, let him be a servant. When you have that servant heart, there's going to be doors of opportunities beyond. One of the things that I've always been very, very impressed with Barbara, everybody's telling her she's volunteering for nothing. Someone like me, as a business professional, I value that. And I treasure people like her because it's that attitude that makes our country great, that makes our communities great, that make our families great. But one of the things that I want to leave you guys with, until you guys step up and truly commit to that sacrifice, that extra thing to do, and really tell yourself in the morning, what is that I am going to do today so that I can be in line with the divine, so I can be in line with who I am. There's a passage that says, polish your work on your gift, polish your gift, and your gift will put you before the rulers of the earth. Yesterday, Adriana and I, we went to this event, and we sat at the table with the California treasurer. Now, I've been to Sacramento, talked to the politicians. I have talked to Ben Bernanke in the past when things were going sideways. So the only thing that I have done is, he said, acknowledge him in all your ways and he will direct that path. And I'd like to leave you guys with that, and I have a question now. Are we competitive?
No!
Are we competitive?
No!
What are we?
Dominant!
I like that. I'm gonna borrow a quote from Mr. Frank Fuente. If you see Frank, do not tell him that we took it from him, okay? And it says, Adriana, come on up here, so help me with it. I want to do a good job. On 3, we're gonna say los esperamos, but los esperamos means like we'll wait for you. In our culture, the Latin culture, it's a very unique culture, okay? Adriana gets a call from her uncle. Her uncle's the doctor to President Uribe in Colombia. They're on their way. He's on his way to Hawaii. He wants to make a pit stop, come in and visit his favorite niece. So he shows up. Tell him the sequence, what happened when he shows up.
So he calls the day before. Oh, honey, I'm on my way to Hawaii. I'd like to stop and see you. Okay, Tio. Sure. He says, okay, I'll be there tomorrow, 4 o'clock, and I give you a call when I, ready to go. Oh, by the way, I'm bringing 2 more couples.
That's a Latino culture.
And they stay. We had a great time. They stay at the house for one night, yeah.
I mean, Jose Luis, a lot of times he'll invite us to his house, and we'll have company, and he never said, How come you guys brought 12 more people? My grandmother said, where one eats, two eats. If we need to add more water to the beans, so be it. But anyways, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Los
¡Los
esperamos!
esperamos! Thank you guys. Thank you.